All righty. Hello, everybody. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's having the most wonderful day. Over here in Vienna, it's the afternoon. But if it's in the morning for you, good morning. Hello, Team Pat. Good to see you. Yeah, good to see everybody. If you're tuning in the afternoon, good afternoon. If you're tuning in the evening, good evening. I hope it's not too late there. Remember, these lessons are recorded. Um, this has been an extraordinary experience, and welcome to our final lesson that I'm doing with all of y'all for this boot camp. I love seeing all of the comments from everybody saying how sad they are and all that. I want to start. Well, first off, let me take a step back and say, if you're watching this for the first time, hi, welcome. My name's Ramon. We're doing a free JavaScript bootcamp here using freeCodeCamp's JavaScript algorithms and data structures certification. We're doing this with Class Central, which you can find there. And sign up at freeCodeCamp if you want to follow along. This is the final live lesson I'm doing, but the recordings are all on YouTube. You can find them on the Class Central dashboard. And folks, I want to say it is our final lesson together, but a couple of things. First off, it's not our last time we will see each other during this boot camp, because tomorrow we'll have a guest session starting at tomorrow at an hour later. We're going to do Intro to Web Standards, What and Who is the W3C with Lola Orelola. So that's going to be wonderful. And and on Saturday, we're going to do Saturday social office hours. So there's going to be a little bit more question and answering. Folks, this is not the end. This is the end of this dedicated live streaming, yes, but the forums, the Discord, they will stay there. You will find them through, thank you very much, group.classcentral.com. You'll also find a link to Discord there. I did fix the link. Somebody pointed out that it was broken. Thank you very much. I did put in a new link for that. And this isn't the end. We are now a community of learners. We're going to be learning together. We're going to continue learning from one another. So let's keep going. Keep asking questions. If you find other things, other projects, show off your projects, folks. Send in a link. I want to see it. It's wonderful. Carlos has a question. First question about Saturday. On my event, it says 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Madrid time. Yes, I think Madrid is the same as Vienna, so it's Central European time. That time is correct. So we'll be meeting in the morning for us, a bit earlier so that we can coincide with folks doing the web development bootcamp as well. And Jess and I are going to keep streaming. If you're following the web development bootcamp, you probably saw that. We're going to keep streaming stuff, so we're not done with each other just yet. Folks, I love seeing all of your enthusiasm. Let's keep learning together. And as I said, we're doing this boot camp now, but we're going to do more boot camps during the year. This is something we really want to do. Oh, I have a question here. Hello, Bhavin. Got a question from Laura. What is the deadline for all the assignments? This is self-paced, Laura. So do them at your own pace. The objective is to have all of the projects done. So together we've done 4 of them. Today we're going to do the 5th one. And it's at your own pace. So take your time. If you have questions, please post them in the forum, post them in Discord. We're all here to help each other. PS Gamer saying, I'm not able to build logics in JavaScript. Hey, if you've got a question that you're specifically stuck on, post it on the forum. Yeah, there you see. Post them on the forum, post it on the Discord, and we'll help each other. If you've got a specific question, we can totally answer it during the Q&A. So, I don't think I missed anything. I said hello. Very important. I introduced us to where we're at. So today we're going to be doing the final project, which is the cash register project. And what we did this week was functional programming and intermediate algorithm scripting. The homework is to do the rest of them. But I said, let's keep learning from each other. If you've got any questions, forum and Discord. I'll stop repeating myself. Let's dive into the final project. So if we complete this project, we will have everything we need to qualify for that JavaScript certification. And then if we complete it, which I suspect we will, I'll show you all how to get it. So what what was I going to say? Yes, what we're going to do today, if you haven't seen me do the projects before, I'm going to think about and show you all a solution that I've come up with. We'll do it. I'll show you how I come up with a solution, and this will be my solution, and it won't be the best. It's not going to be the most efficient. It's going to be one that I think explains clearly, given the tools that we've gathered during this bootcamp, that we need to be able to solve this project together. I'm from Kenya and from Montreal. -10. My goodness, that is very, very cold. So let's dive right in. So we've got a project called cash register. We've got some code. Let's read the instructions first. Then we'll look at the code, and then I'll start thinking about and building out a solution together. At any point, if you've got any questions unrelated to the project, I'm happy to answer them during Q&A afterwards. If you've got questions about what I'm doing, please feel free. I'll keep an eye on the chat here, and let's dive right in, shall we? So let's read first. So we'll design a cash register drawer function, check cash register, that accepts purchase price as the first argument, payment as the second argument, and cash in drawer or CID as the third argument. So CID is a 2D array listing available currency. And I'm starting to see that here, a 2D array. So a 2D array being an array made up of subarrays. So far, so good. The check register function should always return an object with a status key and a change key. Okay. Return status insufficient funds and change empty array if cash in drawer is less than your change due, or if you cannot return the exact change. We'll return status closed, change the contents of the change with cash in drawer as the value for key change if it is equal to the change due. Otherwise, return status open, change ... with the change due in coins and bills, sorted from highest to lowest order, sorted from highest to lowest order, okay, as the value of the change key. And we've got our currency units here. So let's see what we got. We got pennies, which are worth $0.01, nickels worth 0.05, dimes 0.1, quarter is 0.25, dollar is 1, $5 is 5, $10 is 10, and $20 is 20. $100 is $100. So far, so good. And here's an example of a cash in drawer array. So it's an array made up of subarrays. Got penny, and this is the amount in dollars of pennies. So there is $1.01 worth of pennies in the cash drawer. There's $2.05 worth of nickels in the cash drawer. 3.1 dimes worth of dollars in the drawer. There's $4.25 worth of quarters in the drawer, and so on and so forth. There's $90 worth of $1 bills, $55 worth of 5 bills, $20 worth of 10 bills, $60 worth of 20 bills, and $100 worth of $100 bills. So that is a lot to take in, huh? Let's take a look at the code real quick. I'm going to just resize this real quick so we can really take a look at the full, look at that. I don't even have enough space to have the full subarray, the full array in one screen full. So let's see what we got. So we got the function cash register with 3 parameters: cash, price, cash, and cash in drawer. I'll call it SID from now on. And we will return an object made up of status and change, as the instructions said. So far it just has we declare a variable called change and we return change. So that's not really what we're looking for. So we're calling check cash register 19.5. So the price is $19.50. The cash that was paid was 20 cents. And here's how much there is worth of change in the drawer. So 1.01, 2.05. Carlos is asking, what does SID mean in this context? It stands for cash in drawer. I cannot believe I didn't think of getting a cash box. My mom has one, but I didn't think to borrow it. My bad. As Ida says, yes, it's cash and drawer. So when you open the cash register and it's a little drawer full of money in it, there's like this many pennies, this many nickels, this many dimes, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to call it SID or cash and drawer. If at any point I interchange the two and I'm confusing, please call me out. Now, looking at this, there's really three statuses that we want to return, right? We've got insufficient funds if the cash and drawer is less than the change due, or if you cannot return the exact change. There's status closed change with the cash and drawer value as the key change if it is equal to the change due. So if there's as much change in the cash drawer as there is that we need to give the customer, then we close it and we return all the change. And if there is still some change left over in the cash drawer as we pay the change, then we'll return status open and how much change we give out broken down in those I'm going to call them bills for now, like different types of bills, which means coins as well. Now, in order to break this down, I would actually like to start by just forgetting about counting out the how much change is due and really focus on what if there's not enough cash in the drawer. Okay, so here's my idea. First, I'm going to console log this. And that's going to give us undefined because we're returning an array, a variable with no definition. Now I'm just going to laser focus on what if the total sum of cash in the drawer is not enough for the change that's due. So the first thing I'm going to do is calculate how much change is due. So store variable with amount of change due. Then sum up all the money in the cash drawer. If the money in the SID is not enough, return this. So this is what I'm going to laser focus on first. Just this, because this allows me to get started. So let's start with that. Store variable with amount of change due. And let's do that. So we'll have a const called change due. Now, how much change is due is going to be the amount of cash that the customer gave me minus the price. So cash minus price. That's how much change is due for the customer. That's how much change the customer is going to want in return. So let's console log that. I expect it to be 20 minus 19.5 is going to be, should be 50 cents. And there it is. Console logging that gives me 0.5. So that's how much change is due. Cool. Next, let's sum up all of the money in the cash drawer. And let's do that using one of the things we learned in functional program and we covered yesterday as well. This sounds like a job for reduce. So let's call this available. So make a variable called available. And this is going to be how much money is available in the cash drawer. That's why I called it available. So I'm going to call reduce on the cash and drawer. And remember, reduce takes two parameters. One is a callback. So that will be the callback that takes in an accumulator. I'll call it ACK, short for accumulator. And the object that we're iterating over, which in this case is each individual subarray. Remember, each of these subarrays. Yeah. So let's call this compartment. No, let's call it bill type. Yeah. So we want to sum that up, but we also need that initial value as the second parameter of our reduce. And of course, being reduce, we want to sum up all of the cash into the drawer. The initial value will be 0. 0. There we go. Cool. So we'll start at 0. Let's console log available. Remove this console log for the change due. Right now it's giving us undefined because we're not summing up anything. So let's do that right away. So let's return accumulator plus. Now the build type, let's console, before I do any of this actually, let's console log the build type. So it gives us one console log per build type. So we got penny 101, nickel 205, dime 3.1, quarter 4.25, and so on and so forth. So we really want to add up these, the second members of the build type array. So let's do that. Return accumulator plus build type, and then the second member of the array. Now check it out. That's giving us $335.409999, a bunch of nines and a 7. Now you all must be thinking, wait, what? These cent amounts never go below this decimal value. What's going on here? And this is a quirk of JavaScript that we're going to highlight pretty quickly in this exercise, that I actually wanted to share a resource that was shared in Discord by Ida, and it's super helpful. So I'm just opening up Discord. Sorry, I didn't think to have Discord open. By the way, you can sign up for Discord and join in the conversation through a link in the forum. So let me just bring that up. Thank you very much for putting up the link. So here's a website. Copy message link. If you're interested in why, nope, that's the wrong one. Copy. I posted it in the chat. This is explaining why adding decimals in JavaScript is kind of weird. Let me show you what I mean by showing you an example. Let's console log 0.1. That gives us 0.1. Now let's console log 0.1 plus 0.2. Look at this. 0.300000004. What a mess. This is because of how JavaScript does the decimal addition. I highly recommend checking out the link that I put in the chat. I'll also share it in the forum and Discord later on. But essentially, adding decimals like this is kind of tricky. And according to Johannes, not just in JavaScript. Thank you very much for sharing that. So yeah, this is a quirk. And why I'm going to advise to us that instead of working with dollar amounts in decimals, that we instead treat this in cents. That is cents with a C, C-E-N-T-S. So instead of working with decimal numbers, we're going to work in cents. So for example, instead of having $0.01, we're going to go with instead of having $0.01, we're going to work with 1 cent. So $1 becomes 100 cents. Instead of doing I don't know, $20, we're going to have 2,000 cents. And folks are saying, can we use to fixed? We totally can. Just when I work with money, when I'm programming, I like to go with cents. And this is a convention I see quite often. So I would recommend going with cents instead. Okay. So I'm going to do this with cents. I hope that's okay for everybody. Yeah. So the way I'm going to do this is instead of working with dollars, I'm going to work with cents. So I'm going to, instead of using build type 1, I'm going to use build type 1 times, and the asterisk, 100, as Annabelle says here. Multiply all by 100. People's asking, could it be math.round? You totally can. I don't know which way that's, it depends on which way it rounds it, if it rounds it up or down. If you round a decimal number, isn't it going to round to a whole number? math.round 0.1, 0. Why can't I type today? Yeah, that rounds it down to 0. So that's not what we want, because we want 2 decimal places when working with dollars. But we're working with cents, so let's stick with cents for now. Yeah. So now check it out. Console log available is now $335.41, or 33,541 cents. So I'm going to stick with working with cents now. However, this means that if the money in the CID is not enough, return, we also need to have change due cents. And I'm going to store that as change due times 100. So far, so good. So if the money in the SID is not enough, return this. So let's do that. So if available, if it's not enough, it means it's smaller than the change due in cents. Then we'll return status closed. And the change is an empty, no, sorry, not closed. Sorry. It's insufficient funds. And the change is an empty array. So in this particular example, we have enough change. So what I would actually like to do is take a look at the tests, because remember, each exercise here comes with tests, and see if we've got one that should expect insufficient funds. Let's have a look. Should return the object, should return status open, insufficient funds. Here we go. So if we're calling cash register with this array here, it should return insufficient funds. Let's give it a try. And let's take a look at why. You see, here we expect to have 50 cents of change, but in the cash drawer, we can see we've got 1 penny, no nickels, no dimes, no quarters, no ones, no fives, and so on and so forth. So we only have 1 penny worth of change in the drawer, so that's not enough to pay out the change, and that's why insufficient funds. Omran is suggesting also, suggesting make the prize $100,000. Yeah, that works too. I went with an example. And in fact, what we can do is run the test. I don't know if I ever highlighted this during the bootcamp, but when you run the test, which I just did, you can also see which ones work and which ones didn't work. So this one didn't work, this one didn't work, this one didn't work, but this one did. There, see? Insufficient funds. Very good. I'll give it a half pat. Yeah, so we've got our insufficient funds working. Great. Insufficient funds. Hold on. This one didn't work. Oh, why is that? Insufficient funds. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, do you know what? If the money in the SID is not enough, it's also if you have some change, but you don't have enough. Ooh. I went about this the wrong way. I'm gonna actually throw this out, if I may. Bear with me, folks. And instead of doing that, there's another one that we can do that's a lot easier, which is returning status closed if the cash and drawer, if it's equal to the change due. My mistake. I'm going about this the wrong way. So instead of doing that, let's change this a little bit. If the money in the SID is equals, the money in the SID is equal to the amount the change due, return status closed, and change is the SID. That's where I should have started. I apologize. Let's start here instead, because then we can definitely calculate, okay, if the amount available is the same as the amount due, then we just return closed. So let's do that. if. So available is equals to change due in cents. Then we return status closed, and the change is going to be the SID itself. Why? Because it's got exactly as much change inside as we expect there to be. So you can just close the cash register and just give it all the money because it's all the money that's in there. Let's try running the tests again. Sorry to have led you all the wrong way at the beginning. So let's see. Let's run our tests and see which ones worked. So a bunch of these still don't work. Not working, not working, not working, not working. Ah, we got one that's working. And that's the closed one. So why is that? 1950, 20, and we've got 50 cents worth of pennies and nothing else. So that returns status closed with 50 cents worth of pennies and nothing else. So that worked. Okay, I'll take that pat back and put it back in. Cool. So the rest is for insufficient funds. My mistake. Insufficient funds, open, open, and so on and so forth. Cool. So let's start breaking down how to calculate the change that we're going to give out in order to be able to pay out to the customer the change that they're due. So remember that the change is going to be a two-dimensional array made up of the bills and the amount that we're going to give to that customer for each of that bill. And where did I see that? Sorted in highest to lowest order. But remember that when we're working with the dollar amounts, we're always being given them from pennies to hundreds, but the change we're giving back is from the highest to the lowest. So let me take this comment, put it here. There we go. Let's consider that done and move on to the next steps. So first, reverse the SID, loop through, and add up for each bill type which ones will have how much money, which ones will have, add up for each bill type the amount of money needed for that bill type. Now, some of this is going to look familiar because we're actually going to be doing something very similar to what we've done with the Roman numeral project. We're going to start at the hundreds and start. Do you know how? I don't know if you've ever done cash registering. I did that when I was younger. I would start with the hundreds, give out, like, calculate. Okay, let's see. I don't know if the change due is like $430, right? I would start with well, I did it in euros, but still. So 400, take out 100 euros bills, then go to the 50s. Nope, no 50s needed. Nope. 120, great. 110, and then I was done. So I went from the highest one to the lowest one. And so we're going to do the same here. And we're going to need an array of, Arancia is asking time for recursion. I'm actually not going to do this with recursion. Let me show you how I did it. I did it with SID. Oh, I've got a const, sorry. I'm going to const change. So we're going to have a variable called change equals to SID dot reverse. Remember, we're going to reverse the SID and then map. So that's how I'm going to do it. But again, super open to how other folks are doing it. I'm going to create a map of those subarrays for each dollar type. So Club is asking, for insufficient funds, can we do what you did earlier and just add an AND operator to add the other condition for when we can't return to exact change? Maybe. I haven't really thought about it myself. Tell you what, let me go through this and then we'll explore your proposed solution. Otherwise, I might confuse myself. So reverse the SID, loop through with a map, add up for each build type the amount of money needed for that build type. So we're going to have a map, and remember, we're going to have that build type. We're going to have a callback for that build type. And remember the map, right? For map, it returns an array where it loops through our original array and returns a value that each member of the new array will have. Sounds a little bit confusing. So let's keep going, I say. So how do we add up in reverse order? Remember how I was doing it physically? I had like, there are $430 due. So I took out my hundreds and I went, okay, 100, 200, 300, 400, there are $30 left. We're subtracting. So let's calculate. Let's have a, let's loop while the change to is less. No, is change to is more than the value on the bill type, and the amount of money for that bill type is sufficient. Let's do that. A while. We'll have a while loop. And in that while loop, we want to check that the change due is more than the value on the bill type. So now we need to map. We'll need to actually have a map for the bill type and how much money it's worth. So what I'm actually going to do is create a mapping for that, showing that, for example, for a penny, it's worth 1 penny. For a nickel, it's worth 5 pennies, and so on until for $100 bill, which is worth 10,000 pennies, 10,000 cents. So for me, what's going to work best for me is at the top, I'm going to have an object. Let's call it lookup. Yeah. And so for the name of that bill, for example, for penny, I'm going to have it be worth 1 penny. For nickel, I'm going to have it be worth 5 cents. Dimes, I'm going to have this be worth 10 cents. For quarters, it's going to be worth 25 cents. For $1, it's going to be worth 100 cents. For $5, it's going to be worth 500 cents. 10, it's going to be worth 1,000 cents. 20, it's going to be worth, let me just look it up here. Yeah, $20. So that's 2,000 cents. So for, wait a minute, 100 has a space. Thank you, Catherine, for pointing out my typo. Very good. Now, here's a problem. 100 has a space in it, but that's no big deal because what we'll need is just a string. Remember, properties can have string names. So 100 and then colon 10,000 cents. So now we've got this lookup here that says, okay, pennies 1, nickel, blah, 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 blah. So let's get our bill type. And so let's call this is a const. Let's have it called name value. Let's call it lookup, and then pass to it the name of the bill type. And remember, bill type is an array. So we'll have it, and I believe, let me console log this real quick. Bill type. Oh, I've got okay, let me comment all of this out real quick. Thank you, folks, for pointing out the typo. So, console log bill type. Let me just remove these. We're not going to need these. Excellent. Okay, so we got 100, 20, 10. Okay, so it's the first member of each subarray. So I'm going to go with 0, which is nice. But you know, I don't like manipulating subarrays right like this. How about we take a lesson that we learned in ES6 and use spreading? So remember, we can use spreading to have, instead of working with a bill type, let's use spreading to have this be name and amount. Now we don't need to worry about the bill type anymore. We can just get the name and the amount whenever we need it. And that, I feel, is a lot nicer. Yeah. Let's try with amount. Should be a bunch of zeros. Excellent. And the final one should be 0.01 because that's how many pennies there are. Remember, it's reversed. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so the const name value will be lookup name. Now what we can do, just for fun, let's console log the name and the name value. Check it out. So I'm console logging 100, the name of the bill type, and the amount that it's worth, the value of that name. So 20 is worth 2,000, 10, all the way to undefined because we are not returning anything in this function. Cool. Now let's bring back our while loop. So while name value is less than or equals to, and remember, we want to be subtracting from the total change due. So change due, and remember, it's in cents. And, whoops, we still have that amount of money. That amount is bigger than 0. However, remember that the amount that's stored in the SID is still in dollars. So actually what I want to have is const amount cents equals to amount times 100. There we go. We've got a potential infinite loop detected on line 34. Test may fail if this is not changed. We're going to fix that now. Let me make some more space for my code. Yeah. Cool. I have a sip of water here. So I want to be storing an intermediate value of how much money I'm putting down as I put down those hundreds or 20s or 10s, right? So I'm actually going to need a total. Let's put that here, and I want to be adding up to it. So I'm going to put let total equals 0. So 3 things are going to happen here. Add 1 bill's worth to the total. Next, we're going to subtract that name value from the total change due, and we're going to subtract the that name value from how much money of that bill type is available. Let's do the first one first. So total will be plus equals name value. So every time we take a bill of 100 out, put it down. We add that to our total amount, and we subtract that name value from the total change due. So change due cents minus equals name value. We have a problem, don't we? Look at the error. Change due cents is read only. Why is that? That's because in line 16, remember, I made this a const. But this shouldn't be a const, because now we want to subtract from it. So we actually want this to be a let. Now we're good again. Scroll down. Subtract that name value from how much money of that bill type is available. That would be the amount cents. So amount cents minus equals name value. If I could spell that, there we go. Same problem again. See, I defined this as a const, thinking, it's probably going to be constant. It's fine. But it turns out as I was working on it, I realized, no, hold on. I will need to manipulate. I will need to redefine its value. So I'll make this a let instead. Now we're good again. Phew. So once we've looped through all of that, and we've gotten how many dollars worth, how many dollars worth of that bill we're going to have, now we're going to return that subarray. We're going to return a subarray made up of two values. Remember, it has to be the name of the bill and the total. So for each of those, we're going to put down, for example, $400 worth. Let's give it a try, and let's console log our map here. That's change. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Yeah, let's console log change. So that's a bunch of zeros and 1 cent, which is good so far. Oh, and Omran caught me out very correctly. Amount cents bigger than or equals to 0. I'm going to try it with just bigger than 0 for now, but let's get back to that. Maybe you're totally right. Now, I think this isn't very interesting because it's not showing. The example isn't very interesting for us because we only have 1 cent available, but that's fine. However, if we want to compare, we need to convert this back into dollars, don't we? So let's take that total for returning in dollar amounts and divide by 100. Now we can see 0.00000 and $0.01. Phew. So far, so good. People's asking, why are we using, where did it come from? Where did we start using lookup name? This lookup object that we have at the top, this is an object that I defined at the top that defines, I'm just going to scroll up, that defines how many cents a dollar type is worth, a bill type is worth. This is so that I know how much a certain bill is worth, because it's not actually defined anywhere in our program. We have to define it ourselves. Cool. So far, so good. Now, the next thing we need to do is add up how much change we've got in our hands and see if we've got enough change to pay the amount due. So let's reduce again. We've seen that before. So const change total. This is how much total change we're going to give out. Not how much change there is in the drawer, but how much change we're going to give out. So we're going to go equals to change reduce. Oh, sorry. Let me take this off. Yeah. So change reduce, we're going to add up. Remember, we've got our callback. We've got an accumulator. And let's be fancy and use, let's use spreading again. Let's use our ES6 again. Now we want to get that amount from the subarray. We don't actually care about the name. So we can actually leave that empty with a comma. Remember, we did this in ES6. And then the amount. Because it's that amount we want. So it's awesome. And let's return accumulator plus amount. We also need an accumulator. An initial value. So that's how much change in total we're going to give out. Let's console log that. We expect this to be $0.01 because that's how much change we've accumulated. Now, if the change total, remember this is in dollars, is less than the change due, then we will return an object with status insufficient funds because we don't have enough change to pay it out, and the change will be empty. We're not going to give out any change if we don't have enough. And look at that. Our test is working now because we want 50 cents, but we don't have enough change for it in our cash drawer. Let's run our test and make sure that all of our insufficient funds tests are working. Blink. And what do we got? So should return an object. This one doesn't work. The open test doesn't work. Open test doesn't work. But look, insufficient funds is working. And insufficient funds is working. And I'm happy to say that closed is still working. So that's another pat. Oh, Arancia is saying I didn't get comma amount. Yes, let's talk about spreading real quick. Very quick side note. Let's hop over to the top of my code. Go over spreading real quick. Let's say we've got a const r equals 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let's say we want to put the third one into a variable. Yeah. So what we can do is say a const comma c is equals to r. This is called destructuring. Console log c. That way we can get the third member of that array. If we want the second and the third one, we just put that in here. So let's put b and c. Now we've got 2 and 3. If we want none of them, I don't know why we would do this. I think this isn't going to work. Yeah, I guess you could destructure it like this. It's essentially saying, don't worry about the first one. Don't worry about the second one. Worry about the third member of that array. Now, if we go back to the example I was working on below, what we're doing here, we destructured it to be name and amount because we need both those values. But when we were adding up the amount of change, we only needed the amount. So I skipped over the name. That's why I did that way here. Hope that's clear. If not, it's covered in previous lessons as well with the destructuring operators in the ES6 lessons. Cool. So the last thing we want to do, if the change total is less than the change due, we return insufficient funds. Otherwise, we're actually good to go. Monica, I'm very sorry. If you, I see here you're saying I'm a bit lost. You're so fast live. We'll have to watch again a few times. Totally. This is me presenting my solution. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. During Q&A, I'm happy to come back to whichever section I lost you at. Thank you very much for pointing that out. So if we have enough change, if we don't not have enough change, then that means we actually have enough change, which means we can just return status open, and the change will be our change. So in this case, we have insufficient funds, which is good. But now let's try it with another one. Let's try it with one that has open. Let's try with one that has open. Ah, here's one. Let's try this one. Whoops. Did I? Oh, I'm missing a. So if I put in this, it gives me change 120. We have $60, 10, $20, $5, $15, $1, quarter 0.5, dime 0.2, nickel 0, penny 0.04. Now let's take a look here. It should expect to have just the 20, the 10, the 5, 1, quarter, dime, and penny. But we've got $100 and nickels here. So our change isn't quite right yet. Let me take a quick sup of water. Folks, I will happily cover this solution again, and we'll talk through the code as soon as I'm done with it. But thank you for pointing this out. So we've got some values with 0 here that shouldn't be here. So I think what we need to do with our map is after we map it, let's filter out all the ones that are 0. So here, after we do the map, let's call filter. And remember, filter takes a callback where it will only leave in the ones that are true for our callback. So let's use destructuring like before. We only want the amount. And we will pass in, we will return true if amount is bigger than 0. So now we're filtering out all of the changes, the change values that are bigger than 0. Let's put a comment for that. Filter out changes that are not bigger than 0. Call them compartments that are not bigger than 0. So 20, 10, 15, and now we've got none of them with 0. Cool, this looks better. This matches the one on the left. Let's run our tests. Fingers crossed. So that's done. I will pat, but only partially, because we're going to go back and talk through the code. So let's start at the beginning. Let me make this nice and big and chunky. So we've got our cash register. We got price, cash, and SID. Remember, the SID is the cash in the drawer. Change due is we've got a variable where we store all of the change that's due. We also declare a variable, a mutable variable called change due in cents. That is change due times 100. Remember, the change due is in dollars. Then we sum up all of the money. This is no longer accurate, huh? This should be sum up all of the cents in the cash drawer. So this is how much money is available in the cash drawer. If at any point I lose you folks, please speak up. So this is all the cash that's available in the cash drawer. If the cents in the SID is equals to the change due in cents, return status closed and change the unchanged SID, because we just want to give out all of the money. This was the first requirement, remember? Catherine's asking, Carlos is asking, stop on methods too, please, and go deeper into the reduce part. Yeah, totally. Let's go deeper into the reduce part. I'm just going to take a step back to line 19. Let's go back again. So we're calling reduce on SID, which, remember, takes a callback to reduce all of an array into a single value. And that array, let's console log this. Accumulator and build type. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Remember, we have a callback with accumulator and build type. And folks are saying, please explain line by line. I'll do that, totally. So accumulator and build type. Remember, our accumulator starts at 0. That's our initial value of the reduce. So every time we go through the accumulator, we take a look at the accumulator so far. Remember, that's the initial value. The first part of the array is 0, and we're looking at penny 1.01. So we're returning accumulator plus the second member of that array times 100. So let's take a look at that. Build type 1 times 100. So first we're summing up 0 and 101, 101 and 204 and 9997. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, it's chopping that off because we're adding that up. So 101 plus 205 is 306. So we're adding up all of the dollar cents into here. Adding up. Adding it up. Accumulator and the amount in cents. Accumulator, dollar and cents. Accumulator, dollar and cents. So oh, yes. Maria's asking, could you please explain the times 100 part again? Didn't get that. Totally. We're turning the dollar amounts into cents. We're doing this so that we can work with whole numbers. Because a dollar can only be 0.001 at the smallest. No, sorry. A dollar can only be 0.01 at the smallest. So the smallest value you can have is 1 cent. So that I can work in whole numbers, in integers. I'm multiplying each value by 100. So I can store everything in cents. That way I'm not going to have that problem that I outlined earlier, where if you're, let me see if I can find that. Where did I point that out? This one here. Adding decimals together can be pretty tricky in programming languages. So if possible, always turn those into whole numbers. So as Johanna says, $1 is 100 cents. That's why I'm multiplying it by 100. So far, so good. Let's console log available. So, and do you know what? Just for fun, let's also console log. Let's also do the reduce without the 100. So you'll see what it turns into. So this is 333,541 or $335.41-ish cents. By multiplying by 100, I make sure that I have a nice whole number. Hope that's clear. If not, all you got to do is interrupt me. So if the cents in the SID is equals to the change due in cents, we'll return status closed and change the SID unchanged because we just want to give out all the money. So if available is equals to change due in cents, we'll return status closed, change SID. That fulfills the closed requirement of the project. Next, we want to get we want to start taking out money from our cash drawer from biggest bill type to smallest. Remember, when we're given the SID, let me console log the SID real quick. SID. So SID is starting at penny and goes down to 100. But that's not quite what we want because we want to, because the answer wants us to give out the change from biggest bill type to smallest. This is why I reversed it. See, 100, 20, 10, 5. So I'm going to loop from the biggest bill type in the SID to the smallest, and kind of like we did with the Roman numeral, we will, like we did with the Roman numeral, we will start subtracting from the total amount of change due what we were doing in order to get those bills. So reverse the SID, loop through with a map, and add up for each bill type the amount of money needed for that bill type. So we did a reverse of the SID, and we're creating a map that's going to give us an array where it takes, remember, map takes as a parameter a callback, and that callback takes as a parameter each individual member of the array. Ooh, Matty's got a question. Why don't we reverse SID in line 26? Line 26? Doesn't that also count as change? Hold on a sec. You make a good question, but I don't know the answer. Let me read that again. Here we go. Otherwise return status open with change due in coins and bills sorted from highest to lowest. So it's only for open that we want to reverse it. That's a great question. Thank you, Matti. Yeah, so it's only for open that we want to reverse it. Gosh, what a good question. Huh. I would not have thought of that. But I guess it works for closed as well, huh? Oh no, we're not reversing it with closed. And what about insufficient funds? I guess it doesn't care about the order there. No, with insufficient funds, we're always returning a reversed array. So we're only concerned about the order of that array for open. Because with closed, we're giving out the exact same SID. And for insufficient funds, we're giving out an empty array. What a good question. Thank you. Cool. So, yes, the map takes a callback as a parameter, and that callback takes as a parameter each individual member of the array. I use destructuring because remember, each member of the SID is a subarray. So I use destructuring to store that name and amount into these two variables. So loop while the changes loop. So create a loop while the change due is more than the value on the bill type, and the amount of money for that bill type is sufficient. Because the amount is how much money we have in the drawer for that bill type, and the name is the name of the bill type. So we created a total because we want to store how much money we're giving out. Carlos is asking, can we console log there on map? Yeah, totally. Let's console log. Thank you for asking me. Name and amount. So remember, this is how much money we have in our drawer, right? So 100, we have 100 worth of $100. We have $60 worth of 20 bills, $20 worth of 10 bills, $55 worth of 5 bills, $90 worth of 1 bills, $4.25 worth of quarters, and 3.1 worth of dimes, 2.05 worth of nickels, and $1.01 worth of pennies. So what about the name value? What about that name value? Remember, I made this lookup object. I'm going to go back to the top, where all I do is look up what the value of each bill type is in cents. So penny is worth a cent, nickel is worth 5 cents, dime is worth 10 cents, quarter is worth 25, so on and so forth until 100, which is worth 10,000 cents. Cool. That's that. And I'm going to console log all of these. Let's console log total, name value. You know what? I'm going to console log everything here. Name, total, name value, and amount in cents. So 100 is the name of the bill. We start with 0 at worth that we're giving out. A $100 bill is worth 10,000 cents, and we have 10,000 cents worth of $100 bills. 20 is where we start with 20. We've got 0 to start with that we're giving out. We've got each $20 bill is worth 2,000 cents, and we have 6,000 cents worth of $20 bills. Next, we've got a while loop. So while the change is more than the value on the bill, remember how we were doing this in the Roman numeral as well? We were starting with the biggest type and just being like, oh, just put a letter in for each type of put a letter in until there's no more worth of the value in to put. And the same goes for here. So while the name value is less than the change due in cents, and the amount cents that is available in the drawer of that bill type is more than 0, we will add 1 bill's worth to the total. We will subtract that name value from the total change due. And I'm going to console log this as well. Then we will subtract that name value from how much money of that bill type is available. So let's see what happens. Let's console log the name. We'll console log the total. We will console log the change due in cents, and we will console log the amount in cents available. Goodness, that's a lot. Now check it out. Check it out what's going on here. Because our change due in cents is, how much is due? Hold on. Let me console log it here at the start. Console log change due cents. So we have 9,674 cents that are due. That's less than 10,000. So although we do have a $100 bill, since it's worth more than the change that is due, we skip over it and we start with 20. So we start with 20. The total is 0. This is how much change is due. And this is how much we have worth of cents in the 20s. So we add $20. We subtract $20 from the amount that is due. And we subtract $20 from how much money we have available worth of 20s, because we've taken out a $20 bill. So now there's, instead of $60 worth of 20s, we have $40 worth of 20s. And you can see it in the next loop here. So the name of the bill is 20. We have $20 ready to give out. We have 7,674 cents that are left of change to give out. And we have $40 worth of 20s left in the drawer. So we take out another 20. Then we've got $40 worth of 20s, $56 worth of change left due, and $20 worth of 20s left. So $1 bill left. One $20 bill left. So we take out another 20. Now the amount in cents is 0. So we're done with this loop. And we return. Let's console log that part there. I have a lot of console logs in here. Let's console log is here. Oh no. Sorry. I'm gonna copy this, paste this here. So look at that. So we give out, remember, name and the total amount of cents divided by 100, because we want to do this in dollars again. So in total, we used up all $60 worth of 20s. So far, so good? If not, please speak up. So once we're done with the 20s, we move on to the 10s. So we've got here, remember, at the top of the while loop, $0 worth of 0 cents worth of 10s, $36 left of change, and we've got $20 worth of 10s in the drawer. So we're going to give out, we take out a 10. We got $10 worth to give out, $26 left to give out, and $10 in the drawer. Take out another 10. And now we don't have any more 10s. So we return $20 worth of 10s. Next, we'll do the same for $5. So we'll do the same. How are we doing? Bavin asks 36.74. That's how much change due is left after I'm done with the 20s. Hope that's clear. So we'll do $10 worth of 20s. Next, we'll move on to the $5. So we've got 0 that we've used up so far. We've got $16 left and $55 worth of $5 bills. So we take out a 5. Now we've got $5 to give out, $11 left, and $50 worth of 5s. Take out a 5. Now I've got $10 worth of 5s, $6 worth left, and 4,500. 4,500 cents worth of dollars in 5s. Take out a 5, and then we're done. We give out $15 worth of 5s. Let's go to the next one. Now we do $1 bills. So we start out with 1. There's $1 left of change due, and we've got $90 worth of 1. So we take out a 1. Then there's 74 cents left. So no more 1s. We just use up a 1. Next, we'll do it with quarters. So we'll take our quarter. We're going to start with 0 quarters giving out, then 74 cents left, and we've got 425 cents worth of quarters. So we take out a quarter. I don't have any coins here. Oh, okay, I've got 20 euro cents, but let's treat that as a quarter. So I take out a quarter cent. Cool. I'm glad that we had those props. So I take out a quarter. It's now in here. There's 49 cents left. $400 cents worth of quarters. Take out another quarter. Then we've got 50 cents that were due. There are 24 cents left and 375 cents worth of quarters. So no more quarters to give out. So we're giving out 50 cents worth of quarters. We do the same for dimes. We start out with 0 dimes that we're going to give out, 24 cents worth, and we got 310 cents worth of dimes. We're officially in Q&A now, but folks, stick around. I'll finish this off, and then we'll do a proper Q&A. Thank you for your patience. So we take out a dime. So got 10 cents worth of dimes, 14 cents left, and 300 cents worth of dimes. We take out another dime, and then we've got 20 cents worth of dimes. We've got nickels, and look at that. since there are 4 cents left, we don't use any nickels. But we do need pennies. So we'll take out a penny. There are 4 cents left. We have 101 pennies. We take out another penny. 3 cents left. 100 pennies left. We got 2 pennies. 2 cents left. 99 pennies left. This sounds like a song. 3 pennies. We got 3 pennies. We got 1 penny left to pay in change and 98 pennies left. So we're paying out 4 pennies worth of change. So that's how we build up that reverse cents. Bavin's asking, nickel is 5 cents. That is correct. Here. So a nickel is worth $0.05. So they're funny names for they're funny names for currencies. Oh my goodness. Okay, next, let me remove these console logs because I hope we've covered this. If it's something still unclear with this, please let me know. Next is the filter. Gulner saying, thank you for explaining it line by line, log by log. I'm sorry that I went too fast in the first place. I'm glad that this is helping. I like to think that I can explain out my answers, but sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. So thank you for calling me out on that. So once we've done all that, remember that we had the problem that we had certain cash change amounts that we were giving out with 0 on them, like $0 worth of hundreds and $0 worth of pennies, of nickels. So what we did here is we used filter to filter out the change compartments that are not bigger than 0. So we use filter, we use destructuring to get that amount. And if the amount is bigger than 0, then we will leave it in. If it's 0, like the hundreds and the nickels, they'll just get booted out of our change. And we can see that here. The change doesn't have hundreds and it doesn't have nickels. MT's asking, are we going to go over the homework during the office hours this Saturday? Yes, this is an objective of mine. Bring in your questions during the office hours this Saturday. It'll be at 11 a.m. Central European time. And the event will show up on the calendar in the events and it'll be adjusted for your time. If you've got more questions, please also bring them to the forum and to Discord. You'll find the links in just a second from my assistant. Cool, thank you. My goodness, where was I? Yes, so we want to add up all the change that we're going to give out. So change total is equals to change reduce. So we're going to add up, just like before with the reduce, right? We're going to go through all of the change and reduce. We're going to have our accumulator. Remember, that takes a callback and an initial value. And the callback takes 2 parameters, the accumulator and each individual member of the array, which I have destructured here because all I care about is the amount. And I sum up accumulator plus amount. And you know what? Let's console log that just for fun. Accumulator and amount. In fact, for fun, bear with me, let's also console log the name. Remember, this is the change that we're going to give out. So for $0, we give out $60 worth of 20s. Then we add up, we've got that 60 added up here, you see. Then we've got $10 worth of 20s, sorry, $20 worth of 10s. So that's $80. Then we've got $15 worth of 5s. That's $95. Got $1 worth of 1s. We got 50 cents worth of quarters. So that's here. We got 0.2 worth of dimes and 0.04 worth of pennies. Phew. Okay. So that's how we added up all of the change that we're going to give out. But just in case there isn't enough change in the cash drawer, we have to check, okay, if the change total that we're going to pay out is less than the change due, remember this is in dollars, then we return the status of insufficient funds and the change is empty as required in the assignment, which is up here. Return status insufficient funds, change empty if the cash in drawer is less than the change due or if you cannot return the exact change. So far, so good. If everything else is okay, if we do have enough change, then let's give out that change. So we return status open and the amount of change in change. Oh, there's a typo on that event. In Spain, it says 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. It should be 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. It should be an hour. I'll take a look afterwards. Thank you, Carlos. That's Central European time, mind you. Hey, do you know what? I found a place where we can clean this up. Remember destructuring, doing this in ES6? Since change is called change, what if we just do this? Huh? Remember from ES6, this works as well because this is equivalent to this. Be nifty if you ask me. That looks even cleaner. And you'll see this sometimes in ES6 that folks just write change. So if you ever see an object with an object key value by itself, remember it's the same as this. Cool. So with all of that said and done, let's run our tests again. Pat. Ooh. Roro is asking, would it be possible to check if change due is 0? So it would mean there's still change that hasn't been given out. Yes and no, because remember, change due, let me scroll up to line 15. Remember, change due is not the same as change due in cents. So change due hasn't changed, but you're right, Roro, that change due cents has changed. So I guess let's try out your experiment. I like where you're going with this. If change due cents is bigger than 0, that should work. Let's try it out. Well, that's a great suggestion. Thank you. That's a pat right there. Okay, let's get into Q&A now. So, do we still have access to the Discord after the bootcamp? I have a lot of catching to do to be able to complete the projects. Full-time job on top of being a mom is not easy. Absolutely. The idea is for the Discord to stay up and the YouTube videos. So that will all stay up. Matty's asking, don't forget to save your code before you leave the page. In fact, folks, you know what I'm going to do? Because I already can. Hold up. StreamYard. Where's my StreamYard window? Yeah. Will I do a live stream again after a few days because it'll help me revise again because I'm bad at JS? Hey, don't worry about that. All of the recordings are up on YouTube. This is the final lesson. I will do an office hours on Saturday, but then I'll do more live streams in the future. So yes, let's I will share the code with you as well, by the way. There is a forum post already. If my assistant could put that, I pasted it in the yeah, thank you. So put your solutions in there. I will put mine in there after this live stream. So let's run our tests. Now let's get our certificate. So we're submitting. Look at that. Nicely done. You just completed JavaScript algorithms and data structures project. Become a monthly supporter of our nonprofit. Again, if you can, it's wonderful if you do. If you cannot, that's totally fine as well. This is open source work, not affiliated with us. This is open source work. I sponsor them with a different account of mine. So only if you can. So let's go back and let's get our certificate. I think we've earned it, folks. So menu, settings. I'm going to scroll down. So I'm going to make my certifications public. Yeah. Where were we? Portfolio settings, academic honesty policy. So in order to get your certificate, accept the academic honesty policy. You have accepted our academic honesty policy. And I haven't done the responsive web design certification, but that's fine. JavaScript algorithms and data structures. By the way, the web design one is the bootcamp with Jess. So do check out that one. It's great. Jess is such a good teacher. Like if you thought I was passable, Jess is amazing. So claim our certification. You have successfully claimed the JavaScript algorithms and data structure certification. Congrats on behalf of the freeCodeCamp.org team. Okay. Let's show my certification. Only I can see this message. Running freeCodeCamp. Yeah. Please contribute if you can. This certifies that Ramón Huidobro has successfully completed the freeCodeCamp.org JavaScript and algorithms and data structures developer certification, representing approximately 300 hours or 6 weeks worth of work. Pat. That's, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna give another pat. And folks, if you've made it this far, go get your certification. Well done. You have earned this. Congratulations. Absolutely. How exciting. So, does Jess know that she's a better? I hope she does, because she's a phenomenal teacher. Yeah. And folks, when you get it, absolutely celebrate your wins in the forum, on Discord. Do you know what? If you want to like tweet your stuff at me, I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm at Hola Soy Milk. Let me put a link to my Twitter there. Keep in touch. Send me your wins. Send me your projects. I'm gonna amplify the heck out of them. If you want to keep in touch, I am Twitter way too much. So there you go. Yeah. Send me your wins. Share it with the world. Shout it out to the world. You have done this, folks. If you haven't yet, remember this is self-paced and we are here to help you. So have a look at the have a look at the forum, have a look at the Discord. Don't go anywhere, because remember, tomorrow there's a guest session about the W3C, about the World Web Consortium with Lola. It's going to be amazing. You'll find the event in Class Central. There's a Saturday social on Saturday where I will go over some of the homework, answer any questions that you have. Of course, don't feel pressured to send me your projects. If you don't want to, you are absolutely welcome to. I'd love to amplify them with the world, because I think it makes me so happy to see that y'all are doing incredible stuff. And this is something incredible that you have accomplished. And once you've accomplished it, then it's incredible, because learning JavaScript is hard. We did this in only 6 weeks, and there's, a lot more to go. And there's future boot camps as well to do. So hang in there, everybody. You've got this. And never stop learning and never stop having fun. So I am trying so hard not to cry right now. Somebody said, like, I'm going to cry. And yeah, anyway. Yes, let's go to questions. I think I saw a couple questions. Do I have a personal YouTube channel? I do not. I don't. All of this stuff goes on the Class Central YouTube. I do have a Twitch account that goes out with this bootcamp. It's Hola Soy Milk with an underscore at the end. If I do some personal streaming stuff, I'm learning Rust at the moment. If you want to come hang out, I do it every Thursday in the morning, European time. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. What other questions we got? How do you build logic? Yeah. Could you, PS Gamer, could you elaborate a little bit on what that question's like? This sort of thing, this sort of logic that we do here. I like to break stuff down into smaller problems. So for example, I went for the closed drawer thing first. This is a technique called divide and conquer, right? So break your problem down into small wins and you go fixing them one by one by one by one. That's what works for me. So, teaching is hard, and even you have room for improvements. I absolutely do. It wasn't us only. I watched you through progress through this boot camp as well. Thank you. That means a lot. Ion, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't, but that's meaningful feedback. Thank you. Feel free to hit me with any feedback that y'all have got. Why milk? Hello, I am milk in Spanish. It's a not very good joke. It's just a silly name. How do you build logic? I hope I answered that correctly. Y'all are being so kind, thanking me. Thank you to you, folks. Y'all are amazing. I want to say I want to say, because Bernard is saying, I will miss everybody. Thanks for the good questions, people. Keep those questions coming, folks. Come to the Discord, come to the forum, and communicate with each other. It takes, let me tell you, I've learned a lot during this boot camp as well. And part of that comes from trying to explain things. Trying to explain things helps me learn. So I would love to recommend you, if you see questions come in the forum and the Discord and I am asleep because I'm in European time and folks are asking in very far ahead or very far behind time zones, absolutely feel free to try and answer them. Someone's asking, what do you think the next step is for us? Okay, couple things I would recommend. If you haven't done it yet, if you're interested in getting into front-end development, absolutely consider doing the responsive web design certification. Jess is running this bootcamp, which has just come to an end, but that's okay. There's going to be more in the future. Check out that certification. Also check out the one after. It's really cool. The front-end development library certification. I would love to do this as well as a bootcamp. Let's see. Hopefully. Let's see what else. Mati's asking, what do you recommend after finishing this bootcamp? I want to make sure how I can keep learning even after finishing this. Well, I think I just answered it. Check out other stuff to do. In the forum and the Discord, I've pinned some stuff for places to do exercises like exorcism.io. Some folks have recommended things like Code Wars. In the forum, you'll find these recommendations. Absolutely. Keep on trying. Write about your learning is something I recommend. Write up what you've learned. Write up a summary of this bootcamp. Share it with me. I'll happily tweet about it. Make YouTube videos explaining things. If you probably think like, but who, I don't know this stuff well enough. That's okay. I don't know everything in my opinion well enough. I was really nervous, for example, about explaining reduce to you all yesterday. Now I'm told by a friend that I did okay, and I'm very thankful for that. But of course, there's always room for improvement. So absolutely, keep on learning. If you want to, be public about it. If not, absolutely keep on doing exercises, build personal projects, try solving problems that make your lives a little bit easier. So Box of Painkiller says, hello, I'm a bit behind. Should I start with basic JavaScript before going into debugging? I'm a bit lost here. I would recommend doing them in order, yes. So first, basic JavaScript, then ES6, then regular expressions, then debugging. My personal opinion, this is also the opinion suggested by the freeCodeCamp folks. So absolutely go with that suggestion. Monica's saying, can someone please send the code for Discord? You'll find that in the forum. Yeah, so if you go to the forum, I think like if you scroll all the way down, you'll find the link to the Discord there. If not, you can ask for it in the forum as well. Yeah. Johannes says, thanks for everything. I learned heaps. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, everybody, for answering so many questions. Y'all that have been so helpful and kind to do this, to learn and to share your explanations. This is what made it possible. And it was extremely meaningful. Extremely meaningful. Sorry. Trying not to get emotional. Hope for a bootcamp about the libraries. Yeah, me too, Maria. Yeah. Jess, oh, thank you, Ramon. It's been awesome to learn with you. Jess, Fabio, and Class Central is such a huge part for some people you cannot imagine. I mean, without the support network that I've been through with Jess getting me the ability to do this, and with Class Central support, this has been amazing. And to all of you, absolutely. Can my friend make more Pat shirts? I cannot ask. It was such a sweet gift. I feel bad about asking for more, so I cannot. But it's such a kind gift. Yeah. Oh, Paola says, I had a wonderful time here. I feel like an imposter because I worked before as a web developer. And don't give up, everybody. You can always go back and learn a lot. Never, yes. And I'm going to say this up front. To this day, I still get imposter syndrome. If you're not familiar with the term, it's where you feel like, hold on, I'm not skilled enough for this. Am I an imposter? It happens to all of us. For some, it goes away. For me, during my software development days, I found tools to help me with it, reassuring myself, collecting nice things that people say to me, this sort of thing. So definitely helps. Yeah. Let's see, any other questions? Oh, y'all are saying such nice things. Dark Gamer Play says, Ramon, do you think you could do a bootcamp about the backend certification? Which one's that? Let's have a look. Backend development and APIs. Why not? I haven't looked at the material myself, but I'm super open to it. I said, after this, I'm going to log off and take a break. I hope you all are going to take a break too from the learning. And I'm going to take a break after the learning and come back, do some planning, and see what the next bootcamp will look like. So I can't promise anything yet. Omar says, please give us the Discord code. For the purposes of folks joining in to have a secure environment, we're not giving out the invite itself. So please go to the forum and you'll find the invite there. I'll post it again. I'll make a new topic just in case. But folks, yeah, that's why I can't give it out during the stream. Yeah, as folks are saying, please check the forum. Can't wait to see you again. Where can we get advanced topics in JavaScript? This is such a good question, Ahmed. Thank you for asking. Check out the other bootcamps. Check out exercise websites like Exercism. Read some documentation. Define advanced topics. Because to me, for example, the promises stuff we did is pretty advanced. So I would recommend checking out, for example, checking out these topics as they come up during your development process. For example, if you find stuff like you're building a front end and you need to deal with lots of callbacks, lots of promises, lots of API calls, that's an avenue you can check out. I'm a big fan of learning as I go. Yeah, hope that helps. Monica's saying, I'm keen for the backend one as well as front-end libraries. More bootcamps, please. They're so meaningful. The final push I needed to start coding again after using. I'm very glad to hear that. And congratulations to you, everybody. So this makes me so happy. Matty's got a question. Not a silly question. Never a silly question. Are the rest of the certifications also in JavaScript, for example, the front-end libraries and the backend? I don't know. Let's open up. Oh no, I can't open up tabs. I'm pretty sure the front end one it's going to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you're going to take the learnings that you've learned with the JavaScript and HTML bootcamps, but add on to that things like React.js and Redux. So that's something to check out. Let's check out the backend development and APIs one. At this point, you've only used JavaScript for front end to add interactivity, but JavaScript can also be used for the backend or server. Cool. Yeah, so you'll use Node.js, which is the JavaScript in the backend tool. Good question. Yeah, there's also some Python ones. Gulnor, this bootcamp made me fall in love with coding. Yes, awesome. Oh my god. Okay. Stay strong. Okay. Okay. Cool. I wish I'd brought more water. For the next bootcamp, I'll get a big jug of water. Folks, y'all are so kind, and congratulations to you on getting through this bootcamp. This is a lot of material and a lot to take, so well done to you. Yeah, this is all you. Well done, everybody. So, any other questions? If not, folks, we're on Discord. We're in the forum. You'll get... Oh, no. Gazi's saying, feeling useless learning Java. No. Hold on. Learning different programming languages is absolutely a key way to get into it, because programming languages will come and go. When I started programming, Ruby was the biggest thing. Node.js was like super new or like not really a thing yet. So absolutely, the skills that you've learned in Java, I bet you've been able to bring a bunch of them into JavaScript. For example, if statements are pretty similar in Java and JavaScript. Absolutely. These are skills that move over. Someday, maybe, JavaScript might not be around anymore. JavaScript might not be the programming languages that everybody uses. And the skills that you'll have picked up in JavaScript are absolutely going to carry over. Yeah. Even though I joined the bootcamp late, I'm loving it and I'm determined to complete all lessons and projects. Good for you, Benjamin. Any questions you have, forum and Discord. Okay, folks, I've been at this for a while and I gotta go collapse. I just want to say thank you all for joining. Any other questions, we'll save them for the Saturday social. Remember, tomorrow we've got the guest session with Lola. It's going to be amazing. Check out the comments. And yeah, this was incredible. I can't thank you all enough for joining me on this journey. And I hope I see you on the next one. And I wish you all the best. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow, most likely, for the guest session. And until then, pat, pat, everybody. Well done. Bye now.